Welcome to Still Alive. Oh, alright, that's new. Hi! Thingy. So... I was invited to play this demo of this game. You can do that for yourself, by the way. I'll link it down below. Don't worry. And yeah, let's just get started before we get. All right, it backed off. Nice person. Nice monster thingy. It's cool. Where am I? Why is this so dark here? Oh, okay, I have to click. Isla, is that you? Sis, don't be silly. You're sleeping. Of course it's dark here. But if I'm sleeping, why are you here? I'm dreaming of you. Maybe. I smiled slightly but didn't feel my lips. You need to wake up, Mirai. You are in trouble. Alright. Did we have a fight because of Mom's pastries again? If yes, then I will give you half, but not all. I really like them. Her ringing voice echoed through the black silence. She abruptly stopped laughing and her eyes sparkled with tears. No, that's not the point. You deceived me. Alright. Alright. Cutting straight to the point. I like that. Now, tell me why and how? What are you saying? I would never do that. Doesn't matter anymore. We'll never see each other again. Tears filled my eyes. Don't be so cruel, sister. You know that I love you. You promised to protect me and Mom, but you didn't keep your promise. Trip. Trip. Mom's blood is on your hands. You didn't save her. I could not. You are too weak. Your promise is an empty sound. It's not like that. I almost screamed. Then why did you let it take me away? I hate you. Suddenly, bright lights cut through the darkness. I finally came to senses and half opened my eyes, but piercing light made me shut them once again. What happened? Where was I? Where was Isla? I needed to save my sister. I wanted to lift my arm to hide my face from this freaking white light, but soon realized that I couldn't do it. Gosh, these freaking magnetic bracelets won't allow me to move my hands. They clenched my wrist tightly like claws of a hungry robotic beast. My whole body was aching. I was motionless for too long. I found myself in a square room with iron walls. A weak light coming from the narrow blocks in the corner of the room, and the lamp above was so bright that it made me feel sick. What the heck? Suddenly, a heavy iron door in front of me opened with a noisy clash. A strange fire-red-haired girl with a cup in her hand entered the room. I saw a muzzle of a plastic gun from behind her back. Her bright crimson eyes blazed with commitment. The girl gave me a warm smile and came closer. Alright, will you care for a sip of tea? Okay, that was awkward. For a moment I lost the power of speech. Yes, please? The girl grinned like a hungry crocodile and with a swift movement threw her drink in my face. The cup decorated the wall behind me. Extremely hot splashes of tea made me scream. I shook my head to take this inferno drink off my face. With a second, her spiky heel pierced my thigh. You consider yourself a special guest or something, Cupcake? I don't think so. You are my prisoner now. Her long fingers grabbed my hair and pulled it. Doing really great work here. Indeed, you are a talented actress, Cupcake. But you see, I know the script better. You are not a living thing. You don't feel pain, so better open your mouth only to answer my questions. Did I make myself clear? Yes, you did. I almost tripped on words. My voice was so weak that I barely heard it myself. Afraid of me? Wow, that's a new one. Didn't think you can copy human behavioral response to so realistically. Damn, you impress me, Cupcake. The girl smiled with satisfaction and shrugged her shoulders, making the gun move. Great. I think you can. You don't want to end up deactivated, right, machine girl? So you better tell me what I want to hear. Everything went black. What? A machine? I'm not. You better answer me. I saw this battery thing on your back, so are you a new model, Cupcake, or what? I don't know what you're talking about. Me neither, by the way. What did I get myself into? I didn't know what these people were. I couldn't trust them and tell about my family because I didn't want to put my sister in greater danger once I saved her. And I would, no doubt, in that. How could they see me as a robot because of this stupid battery? Anyway, yeah, well, it is kind of strange for a human to have a battery in the back. Whatever. You don't want to upset me, you know. The girl put the muzzle of her gun to my chest. Her fingers froze on the trigger. She was going to shoot. This crazy girl would shoot me. I was iced with horror. My fingers nervously clenched the armrests, but I tried not to lose my mask of calmness. This place won't be my finish line. I had another race to win. The gun returned to the girl's shoulder, and she looked at me. Oh, I guess that Cupcake turns out to be a tough cookie. She grinned and undid the bracelets on my hands. This was not what I expected. Once I got rid of iron wands, I started to massage my aching wrists, but the girl gripped me by the throat and looked me in the eye. Will you risk disobeying my orders? She grinned and aimed the gun in my chest once more. What? Oh, I have a timer. Push the gun away? Her fingers was tapping on the trigger and the situation was becoming more dangerous every second. I just couldn't let her kill me here. Who would save Isla if not me? With a abrupt movement, I took the barrel away. Then I heard a clank. Nothing happened. Wait, was this thing even loaded? Nice try, android. The girl flashed her eyes. With precise movement, the girl reloaded the blast again and sent a heat wave into my stomach. Okay, I died. Good job, me. Blood gushed from the distorted flesh, painting the floor red. You died. Alright. Gunshot. Let's try this again, shall we? I can skip that, right? Save, load, setting, skip. There we go. La 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 la. Alright, it was threaten the girl then. You kill me and get no information at all. I screamed those words out. My voice was so low that I nearly broke my eardrums. Didn't expect it from myself, but it looked like this was the best option. You've got something for me, Cupcake? Yeah, you want to know things I know, right? During our stressful time, every piece of a puzzle can make the picture clearer for the sake of resistance. Yes, I recognize the sign on the door. The letter G for Grandy? The well-known resistance group. Good that I didn't tell them about my sister. Something terrible might happen to her here, as this very group consisted of most violent criminals from Grandera prison, famous for particular savagery. So you saw the symbol, didn't think that machines know about us. I told you, I am no machine. Words, words. You are not answering my question. What do you need that battery for if you are not Android? I don't know. Alright, let's save here so I don't have to skip everything again. Save. Alright. Save. Why is this a... Well, tell her... I wanted to say something, to lie probably, I wasn't sure. But when I opened my mouth, I got slapped in the face. No, you think twice before you open your mouth. This battery charges my heart. That's all I know. Mom made it to save my life after the accident. How touching! But this can't be real. No one could survive such an operation. You know what I think? I can't read minds. I think that you've made the whole story up. The bracelets on my wrist closed with a loud clank once again. You must be a spy, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You surely know something about the girl called Emma. And now you will tell me all about her. It won't hurt. You are not human after all. I simply restart your system. She tapped one of the panels protruding from the armchair with her long pale fingers. I heard that no machine could survive the electric impulse more than 10 times. The core will get a final error and deactivate the whole system. A human would die on phase 3, you know. But I know nothing. Who do you think you are to accuse me of connections with machines? I'm the one who killed you, who will kill you if you don't stop telling me shit. So, do you know where the girl is? I don't understand what you are talking about. Oh, you don't. It's pitiful. Then you are completely useless to me. Looks like bringing you here was a bad idea. Now I don't have a choice. She puts the muzzle to my head. The cold metal touched my forehead. My eyes began to tear. My limbs became heavy, as if they were actually made from iron. Fear took control of my whole body. I was unable to move. Damn machines. You seem to know what the fear is. Now that is surprising. The girl stared at me with amazement, and her fingers were sliding left and right on the trigger. Alright. For some reason my power cable is keep disconnecting. Stop that. Stop. Thank you. Right on the trigger. My whole life flashed before my eyes as I was imprisoned in this strange place, feeling the metal clutching my wrists. I remembered all the chess matches that we had with Isla. My little sister. She was so open-hearted, so sincere in everything she did. She would definitely work out something here. She knew how to talk to people, and it would be easy for her to deal with this crazy head. The situation became very dangerous. I couldn't say a word. My tongue was out of my control. All I could do was not to lose my breath and to stay conscious. The girl's eyes stopped wandering around my face, and she smiled wickedly. Damn, you are so alive, you know. I feel myself like a cold-blooded murderer. It was very hard to put myself together. Somehow I managed to reincarnate my voice, but it sounded weak. It's a mistake. I don't know anything. I'm not who you think I am. She sighed. Well, mistakes happen sometimes. The girl aimed her gun at me. She almost pulled the trigger, but suddenly I heard some beeping sound. The girl moved away and tapped the headset with her fingers. Professor? While she was talking with some professor, I felt neither alive nor dead. That girl, during the whole conversation, she just didn't take her investigative eyes off me. Actually, this girl gave me goosebumps. What was she going to do to me? What did she want with me? Why not just let me go? Isla needed me. The girl stomped her foot impatiently. I didn't plan to kill her. I can swear on my father's grave. This girl scared the hell out of me. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear what the professor was saying. I only watched her nodding while listening. Suddenly, she looked right into my eyes. Then she picked out holograph. Her fingers started dancing on the touched keyboard. You know what? I will find out who you really are, Cupcake. My source will reveal your true identity. She knows all about things like you. Wait, how could this be? There's no signal. Is it a joke? Someone was screaming in her ears so loud that even I could hear it. Tricia, we are all doomed. Looked like the professor made this girl lose her temper. Not one word, you hear me? I've already realized that we are in deep shit. She was enraged. The girl hit the wall with her fist so hard that I began to fear her even more. Good news indeed. We've brought an enemy to our headquarters and we've lost contact to our most important ally, who actually knew about how to win this war. Damn, we are totally screwed. After the dialogue was over, the girl exploded. Damn, how irritating. Not that old to mammy. Maybe I could kill this idiot, then I could relax. Why on earth should I let you stay alive, Cupcake? We could easily hack one of the body bringers or some other machine. She touched the ear device again. Uni Shikai, to the interrogation room. At once. What do you mean you can't? Busy? I will not go to your room myself and you'll regret that. I watched how she was turning into a ticking bomb ready to explode any moment. Actually, she... That's more funny than actually threatening. But okay. What do you want with me? I'm not the person you need. Why all these questions? Let me go. Shut the hell up. And I obeyed. I didn't have much of a choice. Uni, listen to me, girl. If your cherry butt doesn't appear in this room in 10 seconds, I will... And she started to argue with this Uni, and I just wondered if they were going to shoot me in the next 5 minutes or not. So I decided to take the lead while I was still sane enough. At this moment, I understood that for the first time in my life I could lie, and I should. I had to do everything I could to save Ayla. Maybe I could have a chance to escape once we were outside. There must be a way to get out of somehow. Her voice was weak, but she heard what I was just said. I know where to find this girl. I don't care what you know. Or maybe I don't believe you. By the corner of my eye, I saw a slim figure of a girl. She entered the room and shouted, "But you will have to believe. I came here not for the dead body, you know." Tracy's lips twitched a bit. So you were around? Why all this complaining and laziness, Uni? I am sick and tired of your games. Lock her in an empty block and then I am waiting for you in my office. We have much to discuss. Tricia ran out of the room and the door closed. I was left alone with Uni now. She examined me with her sparkling eyes and seemed very interested. The girl came closer and pinched my cheeks. It must have been a terrible mistake. Uni smiled and put her fingers to my lips. I became silenced. Why are we... Good girl. Her voice was so gentle and calm. Your battery proves that you are not like us, so you can't make me believe that you are human. But I need to save... She smiled wryly. Listen, it was the only thing that my mother could do to save me after the accident. She was a gifted inventor. She brought me back to life. Maybe there's someone who can do such things. Maybe I even know such a person, but I'm definitely sure that is not your mother we are talking about. The girl moved behind me and touched my back with her cold fingers. They pushed me forward and something was plucked into my heart charger. I felt her breath on my neck and she whispered into my ear, I am afraid that you are very wrong about this. Machines can't have a mother or father. Even if their bodies are human-like, they won't have any family connections. It's not like that. Oh, Mother, reality, how would you shut up? I didn't care if they believed me or not. I just needed to get out of here. I needed to save my sister. I wanted to shout at her and crush everything on my way, but I was totally helpless. This is insane. How can't you see that I am alive? Check the pulse. Does the machine have it? Or scan my body? I am sure you'll see that only the heart is mechanical. Uni smiled. She picked out a portable hologram device and tapped on the display. I'll scan your body and we'll see how true your words are. Well, let's check out your pulse. Ha! Just like I thought. Nothing unusual here. For a machine of your level, there's no difficulty in imitating a beating pulse. Now let's have a look at your innards. Ideal synthetic flesh. Fascinating. No problems at all, even in spite of the battery. What about tears? Nope. Fake. Please help me. Even if I believe your story, Tricia won't. She will kill us both. Uni sharply plucked the cable out and uncuffed my wrist. Get up. She pushed me out of the room and we found ourselves in the corridor. Uni kept poking me in the back so I wouldn't slow down, but it wasn't easy to walk after sitting on this chair for hours. I felt myself like the Titanic, which was trying not to hit the iceberg. Yeah, I am sure there was a ship called Titanic in the ancient history of Earth. I was quite freezing and uneasy in there. I felt the touch of the cold, wet air. I didn't want to catch a cold or something. It was too dangerous to weaken the organism when the deadly virus was at large. It would be much easier to get Insecta, which killed so many people already. And I couldn't let some stupid virus stand in my way. I wasn't walking fast enough, so Uni pushed me even harder. Different people were passing by. Among them were some armed guys wearing the grand uniform. Doors with the blinking blue and yellow neon lights opened and closed, letting more and more people through. They were whispering amongst each other, pointing at me. The noise kept growing. I closed my eyes. I needed to think it over and focus on the runaway, but I couldn't help thinking about Isla. Who knows? She could be kept in the infected zone, and even the Impulse respirators were not strong enough to protect her from the virus. Maybe she was in pain. Nobody knows for sure what bringers usually do with the people they collected. Bringers. Why? Alright. Terrifying thoughts devoured my senses, and the darkness which I immersed myself into, I suddenly felt so cold and lonely. I imagined the bright red flashes and opened my eyes. Jeez, watch it. This box is packed with deadly explosives. I stared at the box. I almost tripped. My bloody guts could be on the walls right now. Tricia would love it. The box had numbers written on the metallic panel. Looked like there were 100 units of S-class magnetic grenades inside. These little bastards could take your life away or save it in the battle. Uni said something, but I was still deep in my thoughts, so I didn't listen. I didn't know where they were leading me or what they were planning to do with me, and of course I didn't know how to save Isla. But what could I do? I couldn't save even myself. That thought shook me up and I looked around. For now, I had to help myself first and get the hell out of here. Maybe it was time for action. I looked at the iron walls, nothing useful there, but sparkling and twinkling of lightning panels. I didn't know what to do. I was standing in front of the wall of obscurity. Uncertainty always scared me. I was scared. You should be brave, Mirai, just like then. The day we were playing together, my sister and I. It was fun to throw our bright pink ball to each other, but then bullies came. Danger? They took away our ball and wouldn't give it back. They just didn't know who they were messing with. I hit one of the boys in the jaw and I almost broke the other boy's arm. They got mad and threw our ball beyond the line. Bleak Street, red holographic line with the word danger glow in the haze. The border between our world and the world of the monsters. Tremor in my knees. I would never forget that moment. I wasn't ever more scared. Yeah, alright. As soon as I crossed the line, immediately the sirens went off. Once I found myself beyond the line, I saw strange silhouettes. It seemed to me that something was moving in the darkness. For a moment, I saw a tentacle blinking in red light. Seizing the ball, I ran back to my sister. "You're very brave, sis." I nodded, trying to stop shaking, and hugged my sister. "Yes, I am brave." The line was a safety sign to all of us because its echo waves broke the movement system of the mechanic monsters, and for the iron beasts it meant death. That day I saw one of them, but I would never think that we could see another one again. And now I had to get out of here at any cost. If only I knew where the exit was. Who was I trying to fool? It was not going to work. They would lock me up in some cube-like room, and when they realized that I didn't actually know anything, they would kill me. The girl led me to a door. Its iron shutters open, and behind it I saw only dark emptiness. Suddenly I heard a loud beeping and then a mechanical clank. The door closed and a hologram appeared on its panel. How strange. Uni came closer to the hologram and attached her palm to the blue interface. "Greetings, Uni Shikai. The number of the closest transportation block." GG. Alright, good game, thank you. Uni hit the panel hologram with her tiny fist. HL 65. Nice. The door opened once again and the girl pushed me into the room with the white wall. Have fun. The door disappeared at once, like it wasn't there in the first place. The bright white light was hurting my eyes, but soon I got used to it and started to inspect my new place of imprisonment. I was searching for levers, buttons, panels, anything that could open the door, which was hidden somewhere within the walls. The proof of its existence would help me to calm down a little bit, but there wasn't any sign of the door. After I walked around the room like hundreds of times, I fell on the floor. I was so exhausted. I didn't know how long I was there. Minutes? Hours? Days? My perception of reality was broken apart. All events turned into one white line of existence. This white room was all I had. It was all that I could ever have. My thoughts and feelings were trapped in the cage. I couldn't see anything beyond this white insanity color. It was all around me, beneath me and above me. I was like in a white box. These thoughts scared me. I looked up and down. It was all white, all damn white. It was just insane. It occurred to me that if I continue constantly looking around like this, I would probably lose my mind on the white meadows of madness. I knew what I should do. I would count seconds until something happened. Maybe they would release me. It looked like I was close to 1,000 seconds. I couldn't be more specific because my mind was a mess and I lost the connection with time. It was okay. You shouldn't panic me, right? It wouldn't help at all. Maybe I just had to think it over. The Resistance wanted information so they would come to get it, wouldn't they? Well, probably. They might come for me. But what if that unstable red-haired girl made up her mind to just kill me? Suddenly I heard a sound behind me. I turned around to see a bouncing ball and somehow I recognized it. Why was it here anyway? Was I going nuts? Its unusual vivid pink was washed away by the white color of the room. That was strange. But I still couldn't understand how I missed it. I literally searched every inch of the room. Was my perception deceiving? Before I had another question, it vanished like it was never there. Isla, now I remember her. We used to play with this ball together when Mom wasn't at home. This white light didn't let me think clearly and made me forget things, but my consciousness was still fighting in. I took Isla's present from my bosom and looked at it. Isla, I hope it won't be too late. I clenched the star pendant in my hand. I kept gripping my fist till the pain pierced my mind. Ouch! It was a shallow cut, but my fingers started bleeding. A drop of blood fell on the white floor, and I gazed on the scarlet splash, hypnotized. I clenched my fingers to get more blood. What am I doing? I am totally insane, but that's better. I need to get more blood. I need to paint this wild white in something. Ah, that really hurts. The next drop was more massive. I couldn't make myself stop. The scarlet waterfall of pain. Isla. Needed to save. Isla. I still remembered her, still. And now I could remember her like never before. The white light couldn't reach my head anymore. I had beaten its dark force. I wouldn't go insane. I needed to draw with my blood. I needed to gaze at the red spot, not to forget who I was, to see my red soul. Suddenly, the lights went out or turned black. Do you really think that you have won? I couldn't say where that voice came from, and I didn't recognize it. The white light came again. I couldn't believe my eyes and was even scared to look. Fair strands of hair were hanging down to the floor. There was a girl in the corner, her face buried in the wall. She was crying slightly. Isla! My own voice made me shake. Isla? What was she doing here? I rubbed my eyes. It was for real, it was her. My little sister was sitting there, face to the wall. She was wearing her light-colored blouse, only it was a bit torn. Yes, it was my sister, but her hair seemed so loose in color. The white room made the girl bleach. It made her almost colorless. I tried not to look at her. No, she couldn't be real. I could not remember the actual color of her clothes, and I could not remember her face. I backed away to the wall. Of course you can't remember. You can't find the white light, no matter how hard you try. The girl in the corner started twitching. Sis, I am so cold. Can I come closer to you? I was about to make a step towards her, but suddenly stopped. It wasn't her. It wasn't my sister. Mirai, I'm begging you. I am in pain. Her voice froze my innards and pierced my heart like an icicle. I was depressed and scared at the same time, but still, it couldn't be her. I might have forgotten her looks, but I still could recognize her. I started to back away, looking aside. I had to keep myself together. I think I could help you a little. Sure. Remember her face. What was that damn thing? My heart nearly stopped. All became dark again. I was still shivering when I heard mechanical sounds. I felt that the floor started to descend. It was dark all around me and I closed my eyes. I didn't want to know what was behind these mechanical grinding sounds, as if some huge iron blades were ripping the silence apart. The floor under my feet was trembling and looked like it was speeding. I lifted my head and saw that the room where I was kept was lit again. I looked up to see a little patch of light that was drowning in darkness. I was falling into the unknown. Would I ever see the light again? Would I be able to help Isla? Suddenly, this elevator-like room clanged and creaked with such noise as if huge cyber arms were going to rip it to pieces. The moving platform finally stopped and I found myself in some place with bleak lights. I carefully stepped off the platform. As there were pipes and a small hatch on the wall, I realized I was in some canalization block, and that meant there had to be a way out. I saw a huge hole in the wall in front of me. That should be my ticket out of here, but it looked like someone turned on the laser barrier not to let me escape. The strings of cold, wet air were coming out of it. I looked around and noticed the dead body with its half-torn head, which made me lose my breath. It was leaned on some kind of panel. Holy, what a disturbing scene. I shivered. Gosh, I had a feeling that it watched me, and behind the dark helmet, its dry, dead lips blurred out into a smile. My body froze, but just for one moment. I shouldn't hesitate. I needed to figure out something, otherwise that dead pal would be my only company for the rest of my existence. Something killed him, and it wasn't human. I heard the gurgling of water and a splash of footsteps inside the tunnel. It seemed like someone was approaching in the dark. Heck, I need to do something, and quick. I couldn't be here by chance. Maybe Tricia just wanted to get rid of me. I clearly heard something moving in the darkness. That sound made me twitch, and I nervously looked around. Where could I hide? There was a metal ladder in the wall. Good. To the upper floor. It seemed like a good plan, but it was not. What if it was a dead end? Next option, genius. Like a caught beast in the cage, I was trapped in this dark, creepy room. Damn. When I heard the mechanical rattle, I froze. I was scared even to breathe. There was something alive lurking in the darkness. It was breathing heavily. How can you see that as breathing? Alright. And this whistling sound gave me the creeps. I shivered and reflexively began to move backwards until I felt the cold wall with my back. Damn it, no, I was trapped. Alright, hi. A huge metal sword appeared from the darkness. Its sharp edge was blinking in the weak light. The blade was all in blood, and I saw something else, a skull with long grey locks of hair. Looks like it was a girl once. The dead head decorated this enormous sword. The sharp point of the blade stuck out of its screaming mouth. Long iron legs massively trod to the metal floor, and blinking red eyes of the monster stared at me from its torn eye sockets. You are finally awake, sister. I missed you so much. I tried to understand where this voice came from, though it wasn't the most important now. I had a bigger problem to deal with. A mechanical monster with a disfigured human face was coming right at me, and the head planted on the blade made it quite clear I was doomed. Yuki-chan, we are finally reunited. I turned to the voice and saw two large speakers located on a massive extension to the wall, resembling a tower. At the very top of it, where there was a light in the window, someone was waving at me. It was Uni from the interrogation room. Hello, Mirai. Those who get there find their real purpose in life. They must help me cure my little sister. What was she talking about? Was she out of her mind? Very, very soon we will be together, Yuki-chan. Yuki-chan? This terrible monster with blades was Yuki-chan? Uni laughed, and the head of her little sister began to twitch. A mechanical voice came out of the torn mouth of the monster. Target locked. Eliminate the enemy. I startled. My knees got weak and only one thought pierced my mind. I don't want to die. Blood was dripping from the monster's metal fangs, making terrifying scarlet patterns on the floor. I tried to pull myself together, but it was no use. Panic completely overwhelmed me. I couldn't move. Yuki was slowly approaching me on her mechanical legs. She shook her blade hands with a clenching metal sound, her blood-red eyes staring at me. I couldn't look away, just as if I was hypnotized by this terrifying gaze. She was breathing so loud, as if it was very challenging for her. Don't you die too quickly, Mirai. I need to analyze the indicators of my sister's vital functions. The thing is that only bloodlust switches on her brain activity. Boss fight? Okay. I need to figure something out real fast. Control panel, wrench. Hedge, dead man, wrench. I spotted an object on the floor. It was a wrench. How could I miss it? Of course it would help me to slay this thing. Lucky me! Could I find anything less useful? I should try and check the dead body to see if it had any weapon, but the wrench was almost at arm distance from me, and it would be able to even get to the dead body. That was another question. I decided to take the wrench. Step by step I began to come closer to the tool gleaming in the bleak cold light. Suddenly Yuki came at me at full speed, but I somehow had a chance to sidestep her blade and get the wrench. Yes, I was really lucky to get in good shape, but could I really find a use for this wrench? And once again glanced at shiny, massive blade covered with blood, and the wrench in my hand seemed just a toy in such a deadly situation. Could I even block any strike? No. What a stupid idea. I needed to figure something out to survive. My eyes were wandering about the room. I saw a little hatch on the wall. Good. Might be the exit. Yep. Let's go. I need to act fast. Come closer to the edge? Hatch. No. It couldn't be a way out. It was too small, but I had no choice left. I knew where the real exit was. It was the dark hole where Yuki appeared from. But the damn laser net won't let me escape through it. Alright then, I believe I should definitely try the hatch. It better not be locked. Once I approached the hatch, I pushed it hard, but it won't budge. Meanwhile, I heard screeching mechanical legs get closer. No time to hesitate. Maybe I could open the hatch if I loosen up the valve. I gripped the polyaphasia wrench and with all my strength began to unscrew the bolt. I heard a click. Yuki came very close to me. I still had time. Turning the valve sharply, I rapidly opened the hatch. Streams of scalding foam liquid came from the inside. Its corrosive drops fell on my face. In panic, I started to back away, but tripped on something and fell down. Okay, yeah, well, no, I couldn't see. It was acid. Blood was draining from my cheeks. I tried to rub the acid off, but instead I ripped the skin off. It was coming off in layers, layer by layer, my hair turning into a bloody mop. I was twitching in agony while the acid was eating me alive. I died. Alright. Melted. Okay, so I kind of doubt that this man has what's it called, a weapon, so maybe the control panel? I heard some kind of humming noise nearby. I turned my head and saw blinking light bulbs. I should have saved, goddammit. Bright yellow light was coming from a rectangular iron box. The box was like a power plant, looked like it provided electricity for the whatever. Actually, it could be really useful. If I turned off the laser barrier on the tunnel hole, maybe I could escape. Something creaked above my head. Another iron box was hanging right above me. Massive chains were holding it under the ceiling. It was swinging quietly, throwing the shadow on the floor. The shades of the box were slowly going around and round Yuki, letting me what? The shades of the box were slowly going round and round Yuki, letting me the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to aim and drop the heavy box onto the monster. But first of all, I should turn off the electricity. I rushed to the power plant and pressed one of the buttons right before the monster was able to do anything. Nothing happened. My hands were feverishly hitting all the buttons. Still nothing. How was I supposed to understand what these buttons do if nothing happens? Yuki was approaching grimly. In despair, I pulled some glowing lever and the lights turned off. Everywhere. Looked like I overdid it. Damn it. I tried to get the metal lever out of the darkness, but I couldn't grip it with my shaking hands. What was I doing? The monster was too close. Mechanical red eyes looked very ominous in the darkness. It didn't light anything, but were only clouding my view with fear. Panic was about to burst out of my throat. It became difficult to breathe. What should I do? What to do? Hide? I don't know. Well, let's save once more. Save. Okay, hide. Let's try. My mouth was dry and I licked my shaking lips, trying to breathe normally without swallowing too much air. I clenched my hands into fists and tried to remember where the objects in the room were, but it wasn't that easy. Normally I had a good long-term memory and I could usually catch all the details perfectly, but now fear took over me, so I couldn't rebuild the picture of the things around me, no matter how hard I was trying. Heavy breath in the darkness was the trigger. My focusing went down the drain. I screamed like a wounded beast and ran forward. However, my run ended quickly as I ran into a cold stone wall. Getting hit, I was thrown to the floor. Universe! Pain pierced my head. Closing my screaming mouth with hands, I clumsily tried to lift my shaking body but failed. After a couple of seconds, I was able to claw closer to the wall and lean on it. My nails were nervously scratching the cold iron floor. In fear, I was watching the red dots that were coming nearer and nearer, lowing to my eyes. Stinking breath of the monster was moving the tips of my hair. This was the end. Yuki sharply pierced my hands, putting my flesh on its blades. They cut the meat and smashed the bones. With just one sharp movement, Yuki tore my body apart, cutting the limbs off. I died. Again. Dismemberment! Yay! I guess we'll go through every last death in this demo. Well, no, I didn't get electrocuted. No, I don't want to delete that. Delete. Attack with bare hands. I was unaware of what I was doing. You must be insane to fight this machine from hell without any weapons, and it looked like something just turned on the switch in my brains. Terror exterminated the rest of my common sense, and I rushed at the monster with a savage roar that sounded more like a mere squeak. My forehead was pierced by cold metal. A blade cut the skin, crushed the skull, and its shining tip got out of my bashed, bleeding nape. I guessed that much. For a second I felt the unbelievable pain, then the monster shook its left hand and my head was cut off the body. Now that thing had a head on each of her blades. Praise the symmetry. Alright, I died again. Decapitation! Okay. Oh, I can't save here. That is quite bad, actually. Well, let's go for the dead man then. Last option left. I started to look around feverishly, and once again I saw the same half-decaying corpse by the panel. It was wearing the uniform of the Grand Resistance, and I thought that the guy could have a gun with him, like those guys with weapons that I saw on the way to the White Ward. Though if the soldier didn't make it out of here alive, what chance did I have? I should stop panicking. No time to despair. I needed to take some action. I rushed to the dead guy, hoping he had something for me. But before I could get to it, Yuki jumped out from nowhere and swung the blade at me. I bounced aside and dodged the attack, but almost lost my balance, tripping on the blood of the dead soldier. Shouldn't it be dry by now? I put myself together and stopped twitching nervously. The corpse had an unbearable odor of death, but I still kneeled down to it to search for the weapon. To my horror, his hands were empty, and there was no gun clipped to his belt. Damn it! There came a screeching sound. A huge blade slid over the deactivated control panel, and several inches from my head, sparks miraculously missed my eyes. I was literally face to face with the nightmare. I saw silver lines in its deep red eyes. They were twitching like snakes. Looked like this was the end. I glanced at the corpse once again and saw a detached flashlight on its helmet. Maybe the Resistance sent their people to the tunnels under their base, otherwise he shouldn't have an extra light source. I really counted on my luck right now. This flashlight better work. With my shaking fingers I touched the switch and lightened the area. The beam of light hit in the eyes of the creature and it backed away for a moment. I heard a loud screeching of the monster. Looked like I made it even angrier and it rushed at me to attack again. I turned the head of the corpse so abruptly, trying to direct the flashlight of the monster, that it remained in my hands. The lights blinded Yuki. She tried to attack me but missed. The blade pierced the rotten flesh of the body. Blood splashed all around and my face was a red mess. I doubt there's much blood left in a body that is already dead. For a while, you know. Yuki jerked her hand to free the blade and the corpse's remains splashed on the floor with a disgusting sound. The body twitched and behind its back I saw a nitro gun. I quickly picked it up. Yay. On the handle there was a blinking red button for self-destruction. What was it for? It was useless. It could just tear your head off. I clanged for the flashlight and turning the light in Yuki's direction, I once again escaped her attack. Universal madness. Gripping the flashlight, I tore it from the helmet and jumped aside, and again I found myself in the center of the room. Okay. Jo. Jo. So I have a self-destructing gun and a flashlight. I could turn off the power now, since I have a flashlight, and somehow get away safely? I don't know. Let's try this. I heard some kind of humming noise nearby. I turned my head and saw blinking light bulbs. Yeah, okay, we'll skip that part since we read this one already. Attack with gun. Oh, maybe I should have saved. Oh. Second. I took the flashlight out of my pocket, turned it on, and pointed to the direction where I thought the monster was, but it wasn't there anymore. I feverishly started moving the beam of the light around the room to find Yuki, while with my other hand I took the safety catch off the gun to be prepared to protect myself. Hearing heavy steps behind me, I quickly turned back and shot. The bullet bounced off Yuki's armor and caught a ricochet to my neck. My eyes couldn't see anything. I dropped the handgun and tried to hold the wound tight, but it was useless. Yuki pierced me with the spear, cutting my stomach apart. The blood was slowly spilling on the floor. My mind was sinking in the darkness. God damn it! This is getting annoying! Evisceration. Okay. Okay, as of here. Oh, well, first here. Then here. And then turn on flashlight. My trembling fingers found neoplastic handle on the belt. It took an eternity to make the flashlight dispel the darkness. In its pale light, I could only make out the fear in its most terrifying form. A girl with a disfigured face was staring at me with the bright red eyes. She didn't have a lower jaw, and her upper one looked like a bone with huge teeth with grey swollen skin. Her ulcerated tongue was spilling disgusting slime. With difficulty, I suppressed the urge to vomit and started to retreat. The creature paced several steps to me, and I quickly turned off the flashlight. What if the darkness became my ally? Predicting Yuki's moves, I rushed to the right. Steps. She could hear them. And who did I set the trap for? Stupid. But the monster seemed to stop. I could only hear her heavy breath. And my beating heart, which was counting seconds of my marathon to the jaw of horror. But damn, if I turned on the flashlight and tried to look around, she would kill me for sure. And it could be worse. She would be on her blade as some exotic accessory. I had to do something, so I decided to turn on the flashlight for a moment. It should be enough to see where I should go, but not enough to remember the location of the objects in the room. And of course, the creature noticed me. It rushed at me, and I didn't have time to evade the attack. My forehead was pierced by cold metal. The blade cut the skin, crushed the skull, and its shining tip got out of my bashed, bleeding leg. For a second, I felt the unbelievable pain, then the monster shook its left hand and my head was cut off the body. We already had that part. God damn it. I was decapitated again. Decapitation. This one again. No, back, please. Now, Maybe the red as well. Let's try the hedge. Rush to the hedge. I ran to the hedge and tripped on the slippery floor. There was a puddle of blood. I could have been more careful. Pain hit my ankle. I got stars in my eyes and stumbled for a moment, but it was enough for the monster to come closer to me. I could hear its mechanical sounds. I became frozen and wouldn't dare to move a finger. It was very hard to stay conscious when I saw her massive blade over my head. I screamed. Well, delicious. The monster lowered her blade down, and I could see the point of her weapon with the dead head watching me with his soulless eyes full of coldness. With a slight movement, it ripped my face, pushing the blade in my screaming mouth. My lips touched the lips of the dead girl in the last kiss. Plastic surgery. What nonsense are you spouting? La la la, and the wrench, and the fucking hedge. Come closer. Yeah, well, if that's the same, fuck it. Now, I only have this one left, and that's not going to work. Can I use anything? Something, anything, hello? Laser knife? Since when do I have a laser knife? I touched the laser knife with my shaking fingers and activated the shining blade by pressing the button on the handle. I raised my hand with the knife in front of me. Turning the switch with my index finger, I made the knife shine brighter. Now I could see at least something. The vault in the dark fog was taking shape. Obviously, it wasn't enough to easily or even partially navigate, but it was better than nothing. I didn't have time to understand what had happened when the pain pierced me. My hand that was holding the knife fell on the floor, and the stump started bleeding. So painful. I fell on my knees, trying to stop the blood. The next swing of the blade put an end to my life. My head was thrown to the side and slid into the darkness. I died. Now, which is it? Decapitation. Attack with wrench. Turn off flashlight. Attack with gun. Turn on, sorry. Looked like there was no common sense left at all. I didn't know why, but fighting the monster armed with a huge iron spear with the head of a dead girl on its edge seemed to be the best idea that ever came to my mind. But the thing was that I didn't see anything and I couldn't know where to hide. I forgot all about the flashlight and the gun. My mind was completely clouded. I just stood there clutching the wrench and preparing for the monster's attack. Yuki appeared out of nowhere. The white blade pierced me through and lifted me above the floor. Then she lowered her weapon to let my body slide down to the floor. I died on the spot, dripping with blood. Yeah, well, great. Pierced through. Nice. I know I survived this for a bit. And the belt, I took blah blah blah. In its pale light, I could only make out the fear, blah blah blah. Okay, maybe. Actually, it was very useful to use the wrench as bait. Let me save. Let me save. I don't want to do all this again. Okay, let's wait first. Now, it was not the time to attack recklessly. It was quite possible that this was a trap. I needed to understand where the creature was, otherwise the end was inevitable. I stopped shaking and listened. I heard water gurgling outside the wall. This was a sewer compartment after all, and here it was, the breath. I heard it. She is not far. Perhaps I could try my luck and attack. Maybe the risk was worthwhile. Okay, now let's attack. In the end, I wasn't fast enough to do anything. The monster rushed at me, making a horrible sound. I don't know where I am. Strike left. I successfully dodged the monster, but the monster was able to slash my leg. Just a scratch, though it hurt much. Putting myself together, I was still ready to fight. Gun or laser knife? Gun or laser knife? Gun. Dodging Yuki's attack, I ran around the compartment and jumped behind the control panel again, leaning my back in it. I just had to feel that something was separating me from the monster, the illusion of defense. Trying not to drop the weapon from my weakened hands, I pressed the sensor button on the handle with my shaking fingers. The holographic panel with information about the nitro gun appeared on the side. My eyes were quickly looking for the amount of bullets left. So, okay, I can make 4 more shots. That should be enough. Looking out of my cover, I wanted to find Yuki, but she was already close. Monster's bright red eyes were burning my mind. I strongly squeezed the gun. Come on, Mirai, shoot! Eye, neck, leg. Eye. I aimed the gun at the monster and shot her right at the eye. The dark blood spilled from the wound. Visual sensor lost. Great! She went blind. Now my victory was just a matter of time. I took a step forward and stumbled on something slippery. My leg was in pain. I crouched to stop the wound bleeding. It was right on time. The blade rushed above my head. Phew, okay. I'm still alive. I noticed the control panel with a blinking red light. What if it was still working? Perhaps I could apply more current to it? Before I could reach the power plant, Yuki pounced on me. I ran away to the side. She rushed after me. I bounced back again into black mist. I ended up in the center of the room, right above Yuki's head. I saw a dangling box. Maybe I should try to stun her with it. Shoot in the box. I aimed at the chain on which the metal box was dangling and pulled the trigger. There was a sound of a ripping chain and the box quickly flew on Yuki's head. It hit her hard and Yuki fell to the ground. I ran to the power plant and began frantically pressing the buttons, fearfully glancing at the panel. The monster was getting closer, so I didn't have time to think. My fists drummed on the booster faster than my heart was beating. Finally, the panel squeaked and seemed to come alive. Something bust inside and the red blinking light turned green. I immediately rushed to the panel. It was all covered with a thick layer of dust in some places. There were flaps of cobwebs, but one button was burning brightly. I pressed it and I heard a whistle. I turned my head in the direction of the sound. I saw a dense stream of air escaping from the pipe, and then I smelled something strange. Exactly. It was gas. Oh, okay. We've gotten so far. Let's save again. I can't remember where the pipe was, so let's wait. No, if I shot, everything would be immediately blown up. I needed to find shelter. Suddenly I noticed an open box near the wall, its lid lying nearby, and ran towards it. Yuki rushed after me, but I managed to grab the lid and dive into the container. Quickly activating the information panel on the gun, I turned on the self-destruction mode. Well, that really turned out to be useful. I threw the weapon away from me and hurried to close the lid. There was a deafening explosion and the monster roared. Immediately, the speakers came to life. Oops, sorry. Sister, are you okay? A heat wave overwhelmed my shelter, but fortunately I wasn't hurt. Oxygen burned out. Ventilation was trying to get rid of the smoke, but it was still difficult to breathe, and rattling metal plates was still ringing in my ears. Yuki was supposed to be hurt. I really hoped that she was damaged a little, but I could not count on this explosion to kill her. Throwing back the lid of the box, I climbed out tentatively, looking fearful around. It seemed that at the time of the explosion, Yuki was not far from the epicenter and she was thrown against the wall. This creature was slowly rising from the floor, creaking slightly with her melted joints, but apparently it didn't really bother her. However, she did suffer a bit. Having noticed that the explosion damaged one of her hands, I smiled slightly. One of her blades was really broken. The metal was bent and the piercing part fell off completely. The hand itself also got great damage. Some tubes on her armor had blown up and from time to time let out thin lines of steam. Something red flowed over the metal plates and the mount of the spikes now looked weak. The monster could hardly harm me with this stump. Well, of course, if it didn't use it as a hammer, but it looked like the damaged joint would withstand not more than a couple of blows. Suddenly, I coughed up. My lungs were burning. Each new sigh became a great challenge, while the creature had already come to senses and had no choice but to attack first. I rushed to the iron beast and pierced her in the eyes. Straining my hand, I rotated it in the eye socket, then abruptly pulled it out and slashed the mutilated face. We already damaged the eye, though? Why wasn't it damaged before? The laser blade chopped the metal and burnt the torn flesh. The blade went through a rotting, oozing brain. The monster roared and frantically hammered with the limbs. I miraculously managed to jump away, and then Yuki suddenly became numb, as if she was short-circuited. Fine! At least the damaged brain was a lot of trouble for this beast. She wasn't immortal. I came close to the creature to make a final blow, but suddenly a red light flashed in the depths of her torn eye socket, illuminating the rags of the rotten meat on the lettered metal. Save. That was a bit of work. Straight to the side. At the last moment, I bounced to the side and managed to dodge the monster's sudden attack. Heck, this one was close. Swinging the knife, I rushed forward, sticking a knife into the second eye of the creature. It was still the first one, by the way, and sharply moved my hand, driving the laser blade through the flesh all the way to the top of her head. The monster howled. Burning blood splashed out of my hands, but I didn't feel pain at the moment. You do know that a laser is hot enough to instantly burn the wounds. I forgot the term, the medical term to say the wound is instantly closed. As soon as you cut something with laser, the wound is instantly closed, so there would be no blood. Not burning blood, no blood at all. Because the wound is closed. It's burned. But okay. So it's your hand that was being pierced. Alright, but still, this image shows blood where there should be none. Yuki collapsed to the floor and no longer showed any signs of life. Terminated! Did I really manage to kill this monster? Sister! No! I heard shot. I tried to hold the gaping wound on my throat. You killed her, bitch! Another shot. Blood spurted from my stomach. I looked at my bloodied palm with horror and fell on my knees next to the monster. I am dying? My mind began to shut off, but suddenly I felt the whole body burn with pain. My wounds were healing, and through the loud pain that filled almost all my thoughts, I heard someone's voice. It hurts, but I can't die like that. My whole body was burning intolerably, as if proton gun exploded inside me, burning my innards. I started to turn inside out, and I puked with blood on the lifeless, mutilated body of the monster. I tried to get on my feet, staring in horror at the trickle of blood leaking out of Yuki's wounds, and then, like a snake, crawling up my body and pouring into a hole in my stomach. What's wrong with me? What's happening? My mind began to shut off, but suddenly I felt the whole body burn with pain. My right hand burned unbearably, as if someone had set fire to it. God, it hurts. The skin seemed to have been pierced with billions of needles, and I wanted... The skin seemed to have been pierced with billions of needles, and I wanted to tear it off. I could take it no more. Without realizing my action, I clutched my teeth in my wrist and bit off a piece of meat. On my lips, I felt the taste of iron. I spat the blood in a piece of flesh. With a trembling hand, I began to rip the skin off my palm. My nails stuck into the flesh, tearing it apart. Bloody rags fell to the floor at my feet, and with each new jerk, a scream came out of my throat. My nails slit on metal. It couldn't be real. What is it? With horror, I was looking at my new, mechanical hand, peeping through the shreds of skin. Someone touched my arm. Happy birthday, sister. Alright. Thank you for playing the demo version of our game. Please support us on Kickstarter. Oh. As I said, I will link all the information down below. The link to the demo and the Kickstarter. Let's look through the gallery. CG. Oh, there's still a few locked ones. All right. Interesting. All right. But I've got how should I say that? I've had enough deaths for one day, so yeah. Collection. Item not found. I didn't find a lot of items. But where should I have found them? Me? Holophone. I've read holograph earlier on. I'm sorry. I can't read, alright. Check out the Kickstarter and follow Graven Visual Novels on Instagram. No, on Twitter. And all their social media. Patreon. What's that? I don't know what that is. The internet will tell me. The interwebs will tell me. Well then, interwebs. WeK.com. A kind of Facebook, I guess. A Russian Facebook, I believe, is what this is. This be alright. Yeah. Check them out, and I hope to see you soon when my voice will maybe work again. And yeah, leave a comment if you've liked it or if you didn't. tell me what you liked or didn't. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.